Hey, this is your girl, Queen T. Today we are going live. We're bringing the podcast to Instagram today. So I'm very excited. Miss Dory could not be with us today. She had other things to attend to today. So we have joining me today is Miss Tommy. So Tommy Wilkins. And I'm just going to bring her on right now. See.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Tommy.
Hello. You gonna
Finally
bring me
got it
in?
working.
Yes, you gonna bring me into the 20th century or whatever
Yes.
century it is.
Well, I guess we'll just dive right into it. Um, so tell us a little bit more. So I'll just kind of go in the background of me and Miss Tommy. I've known Miss Tommy for a few years now. At Cabrini University, she was the on
Violence
campus.
against women on campus coordinator.
Yes. So we've done a few projects together, I believe. Like we did a few projects together. And I just always loved everything that she stood for. The resources that she has given us over the years. I've learned a lot taking your course. So if you could just kind of get in depth of just a few of the things that you work for and just a few of the things that you're a part of. So if you could just, dive deeper into that.
So again, thank you for having me on. It was a that first day I met you was like, oh, life is gonna change. There's got this brilliant woman in my life now. I know there's a bit of feedback, so forgive me if I sound odd. So it's been my lifelong work working with women and men who are victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. So providing education and training to family members, to organizations, to churches, just so we can better understand how we can help victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. I'm currently right now working for the Central Division Victim Services, and what we do is we work with crime victims.
Okay.
Helping them access services, access funding, getting them counseling, helping them navigate the system, because working within the system, the criminal justice system is frightening and scary and confusing at best. So we help people navigate the system. We also help people look into if they're eligible for applying for victim compensation funds.
Okay.
Which is funds that the state gives to people to help augment any costs due to a crime. So funeral costs, lost wages, hospital bills. We help people navigate that system also and do that application. And there's 6 programs within the city. Part of my job doing that is also working with women who are victims, again, of domestic violence and sexual assault. And men, because domestic violence, as I've always said, doesn't care whether you're a man or a woman. It doesn't care.
Right.
So helping advocate for them, also working on a workshop we have coming up, a conference we have coming up in May, COVID allowing. And also we do a Woman on the Rise. I do a Woman on the Rise program, which is for educating women on empowerment and self-love. And we do that monthly. We're looking at making that an Instagram live event. So taking a page out of your book so that we can reach more people. With COVID, it's hard for people to come out to like workshops, so doing it that way. So I guess in a big nutshell, my work has always been about empowering people and empowering women who are victims and survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence.
What inspired that? Like, what inspired you to want to educate people and also help women and everyone that's dealing with domestic violence?
I think it's rooted in my faith. I was raised in a church. I was raised in the AME church, St. Matthew's AME church. Got to rep my church, my home church. I was instilled in me service. That service isn't just, oh, I got some money, I can help people. No, you can either you can have some money, have no money, be 10, 12, 10, 60, or 90 years old. You can do your part. So service, I think service was instilled in me, that I needed to do service. So when I got to college, it was looking at what am I going to major in, what I'm going to do. And I sort of fell into social work. And then from that, doing internships at Women Against Abuse and other programs, also educating myself about what's happening in the world, because I'm always very interested in, or always interested in knowing that my experiences aren't everyone's experiences.
Right.
So I might be having a really great day right now. My life is fine. But it's also realizing that there are people out there who aren't living a good life right now, that are having issues, that are going through things that I haven't gone through, but doesn't mean they're not out there needing help. And it's educating myself and others educating themselves about the world in general. It's not just the block I live in Philly. It's not just Philly. It's the world. What's happening to people in the world? And just because it's not happening to me right now in the United States doesn't mean it can't. So if there are women who are being treated poorly or badly in another country, doesn't mean it doesn't affect me, because that could be me tomorrow.
Right.
That could be you tomorrow. So it's sort of standing up and educating ourselves.
That's so true, Miss Story. I said Miss Story. I'm tired.
That's all right. I'm in good. If you think I'm her,
y'all been my mentors over the years, so
I'm in good company. If you think I'm her, because I want to be her when I grow up.
So, with Moms Not Alone, we usually just typically have a topic. And today's topic is, what do you think we can do? What have you done? And what will you do to inspire, empower, and uplift women? So I'll first start off with what can be done for women to inspire, empower, and uplift other women?
My view is it's really simple. It can be as simple as, if you see a woman walking down the street, or you're in line, or you're wherever, and you see this woman and you like what she's wearing, or you like her hair, it takes nothing but a deep breath to go, oh, I love your outfit.
Right.
I love your hair. Just that simple act. Because I've been doing that for a while, and I cannot tell you the number of times I've said that to women who have been like, oh, you like what I'm wearing, or you think I look good? And I'm like, yes, please, you are doing this. Because we as women, and I can only speak as a woman, are harder on ourselves. We will leave the house thinking we look like two kinds of goofy. And there's another woman walking past us who thinks the same thing about herself, looking at us going, oh, she looks so good. We're looking at her thinking she looks so good. We don't see ourselves. And that simple act of telling someone, you look good today, is empowering in and of itself.
Right.
Because we don't know. Because I had a woman once who I said that to, and she turned around and looked at me and went, oh, I was going to go home and change my clothes. Because I just didn't think I looked right today. And I said to her, because you know me, I don't have good sense. So I said to her, if you don't look good, hello, my name is Halle Berry. Here's my Oscar. Would you like to see it? It's like, I don't know you, and I'm telling you look good. We don't know. So that simple fact of telling people they look good.
Right.
You like what they're wearing. Or you like how, sometimes you'll meet people and they're exuding confidence, or they're just light shining from them. Like, just... oh, hello. Just a hello. Also, if you see people, I many times when I'm in the checkout line checking out, you'll see the cashier just like, ugh. And I'll say, oh, how are you doing? Are you okay? You need anything? How are you doing? Or you can say, hello, how you doing? And people either don't respond because they don't hear you, or not, or hear it so much they don't even care. Or I'll go, hello, are you okay? And they're like, oh, I'm like, no, are you okay? And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, no, are you okay? Just that check-in. No, you don't know me from a head of lettuce. But if you're not okay, I'm going to stop a second and see what I need to do. I need to talk to the manager so they can pull you off for a second, or just that acknowledging you're there. I have this thing I always say, because it's true when I'm checking out to the cashiers. Don't let the customers drive you crazy. Because some of us act like we were raised by wolves. Because cashiers are frontliners. So saying to someone who's working that job, who feels they're hitting that grind, hello, are you okay? How you doing today? And mean it. That doesn't mean you have to change their lives. You don't have to change a tire.
Right.
But it's just, are you okay? Do you need anything? You okay? And if they may say to you, I need $100 to pay my bills, it could be like, you know what? I ain't got $100. I need one too, but we're gonna make this happen one way or another. Just keep on working at it. So asking that question doesn't mean you gotta fix the roof. It's just letting them vent for a second. So
Right.
telling people, you know, you look good, you feel good, how you doing today, and just check. And it don't have to be people you know. And I think we aren't comfortable doing that. But if you do it as a quick drive by, like how are you? Oh, I love your outfit, and keep it rolling, then you're not. If you're the kind of person who's scared, you're shy, and you don't want to do it, you're keeping it rolling. You're just walking by, go, oh, you look good today. Then you're fine.
Right. No, I agree. I think what can we do, like you said, giving other women compliments, not trying to be competition. I think that
Yes, yes.
sad to say within the Black community, that is a lot. Like it's always a thing of competition, putting another woman down. As far as like, okay, the natural woman, oh, I'm natural, so I'm looking down upon the woman that may not be natural, may, you know, like her extensions, like doing her makeup, you know what I'm saying? It's always a thing about like putting another down, whether it's their appearance, competing against one another, jealousy. That is something big. And I say all women specifically, but I'm a
Yeah,
Black
because it's
woman. I
not
see
just
it.
Black women. It's
Right.
all women.
It's in all women specifically, but I'm a Black woman. I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm only speaking for us, but that's in all women. It's always a thing of competition. It's always a thing of competing against one another, put each other down. And I think what we can do is uplift each other because, and I specifically say Black women because one thing about it is always like we're the I'm not gonna say we're put on a back burner, but it's always like,
Yeah.
you know, we're put on the back burner. It's disrespect amongst, you know, our own kind, others and other races.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like as Black women, we should stick together and we should empower and uplift and inspire because we go through a lot. You know what I'm saying? As far as anxiety for being Black and raising, you know, there are moms out there that's raising Black sons and they may have anxiety for police brutality that's going on in this world. And I think especially in this year of 2022, I think we should do more of trying to inspire, uplift, and empower one another. And even as being a mom, I've learned, and this goes for everybody, all moms out there, all races of moms. I felt like when I was first coming up, you know, when I first had my child, it was a thing about the breastfed mom against the non-breastfed mom. So it's always like, okay, well, you know, if you're not breastfeeding your child, you're lazy, you're this. And it's like, no, it's not as
There's
simple as that.
choice.
Sometimes the baby don't latch on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the baby needs to be fed. So that was kind of like, I think, and I could say with being a mom and going through that phase, that was something that I was very insecure about because, you know, it was a struggle for me to breastfeed my child. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is something that we can do as women is just trying to empower, inspire, and uplift each other is try not to be, you know, don't compete, you know, because we're all in this together, especially with being a mom. You know, it's hardships with raising children and stuff like that. So it's like a fed baby is the best baby. It doesn't matter if she's being breastfed or
It's however it's all said.
right.
Happy. And
right.
but on that same token, that everything you're saying is true and wonderful, and I believe it. But I think when I break it down to that simple, just saying hello, that takes away. Because I think sometimes what we think is jealousy or competition, which is, but it may come from just simple from no one ever told me I'm okay.
Right.
So if I'm feeling bad about myself, hurt people. That's not just a phrase on a bumper. That's reality. So if I'm hurt, I've never been told by anybody, you look good, you're doing a good job. Oh, thank you for this. Then that builds up in someone negativity and resentment. So we're going to take it out on each other. And you also have to look at it. Women, and again, if we're going to say Black women, we generationally hold stuff because we're supposed to hold it down. We're supposed to be the support for everybody, do everything for everybody, be there for everybody. So who's there for us? Or even if you're not there for me, when do I get 10 seconds to be for me? When do I get self-care? And I think self-care is a new thing for women in general, especially for Black women. Taking a second to take care of yourself, and especially moms, because moms are like, no, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to pick up the kids, I got to feed the kid, I got to take care of the baby. I don't have 10 seconds. You got to find 10. You have 10. That 10 seconds you just took telling me that you didn't have 10 seconds was your 10 seconds to go hide in the bathroom or wherever you hide and go, okay.
Right.
So part of that uplifting, it is basically just telling people they look good and saying hello to them. Because the more you do that, and it may sound very simplistic, but the more you do that, you can see a shift in people. So that shift in negativity, that shift in judging, and you also need to think about when you are being judged or think you're being judged by someone, where is that coming from? What hurt do they have? What trauma have they experienced that builds this up in them? Because sometimes people will, when I say hello to say someone and to say I like your outfit, there are people who are going to hear this and go, I'm not going to do it because somebody's going to shoot me. Okay, well, you're going to say it quick and keep it rolling. But also, what is that in them that makes them reply to you like, hey. That's not about you. That's about them. That's about pain in them. So even that person who's judging you, like, oh, you're not breastfeeding, that's not about you. That's about them.
Right.
My mother had this phrase that is highly inappropriate, but it hits the nail on the head. And I think I've said it to you several times. And we're on Instagram, so I'll clean it up. What they eat don't make you poo. So their negativity, whatever's happening, you can't take it on. So if they're like jealous of you, then, well, you must be doing something right. And instead of turning that jealousy and negativity back on them, it's a deep breath going, okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but you look good today, girl. I just want to let you know. We ain't gotta be friends, but tell you look good today. You've been doing a good job. Keep it rolling. You gotta get that what's that superhero, Captain America? You gotta put that vibranium shield up and just like let it bounce off. Because in reality, it's got nothing to do with you. That's easier for me to say than for people to do it. It's practice, but it's just because if this is coming from negativity in them, and them never being told that when they were young that they were good, that they were loved, that they were cute, and now it's built up and now they're an adult at 20-something and it's just this rock that's in their soul. You can't fix that, but you also can't take it on. You can't, because when people say things to you or look at you funny, like, oh, who she thinks you, we're taking it in. And and my fear is, and what I've seen it happen, that turns us into them. Now we're all a bunch of hurt, traumatized people.
Right.
And then we get what we kind of got now, where crime is rampant. We left last year with 20 some odd murders, not counting all the other stuff that was happening. We got 90 carjackings. That's the outcome of it. And we can't say it doesn't affect women, because women do crimes too. We get hurt too. And I think the outcome of this is we've been taking it on for centuries and generations that we can't take it on anymore. And it's hit its tipping point. As a society, it's hit its tipping point where we're just like, it's just all the pain and hurt and anger is just boiling out. But the mistake of it is we're not able to look at it ourselves, and we're taking it out on ourselves. And when I say ourselves, on our own community. Why are you carjacking a 60-year-old woman? You should be trying to help her get out the car. Why are you, this anger and stuff, why is it being vented? It shouldn't be vented anywhere, but it really shouldn't be vented in your own community. And for women, we've been taking it in the neck for we still are in half for generations, and we have to take a deep breath and look for the positive, look for the bright side.
Right.
Which is hard to do, but it's looking for the bright side. It's finding that self-care. And I don't say that just loosely, but finding out what helps you. What do you enjoy? What brings you joy? Is it looking at your child playing? Is it watching videos? I have a friend who brings her joy watching horror films. More power to her.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings her joy. 10 seconds of a trailer for a horror film or watching a horror film loosens up her day.
Yeah.
I like watching babies laugh. That is my biggest thing. I love watching babies laugh. So that those simple facts help you lessen that trauma and that anger. Because when people are being jealous and judgmental, that's where it's coming from. Because you get to breastfeed or bottle feed your baby. That's your child. You get to. I ain't got a penny in that dollar.
Right. And
So
that's one thing that we do, Moms Not Alone. We try to educate and also talk on topics for women to learn a lot about self-love and just taking that time, because I do think that is important to have that time to reflect and have that time to, put into yourself, because you need it. You know what I'm saying? No matter if you're working a lot, if you're a mom, if you're going to school, you need to take the time to, just have that self-reflection, self-love, self-time to yourself. I think that is very important, especially within these times now with COVID and everything that's going on. It's like you definitely need to just take that time to yourself, find the things you love doing, put into yourself, whether it's smelling good, dressing up, you know what I'm saying?
whatever.
Reading a book, watching a movie, just any time that you can to self-reflect upon yourself. The next question is, what have you done to empower, inspire, and uplift women? I could start that off. I could say, I've always had this drive in me that wanted to inspire and uplift women specifically. I could say back at college, I started a Sister in Christ. And that was more so for women to come together and, that face all types of hardships. So it was never a thing of, I'm better than you, or because I'm Christian, I know more, or I'm holier than thou, that thing. It was just more saying, I'm a Christian, I go through hardships and times. I'm not perfect, and let's come together and inspire, uplift each other with putting God in the center of that. As I've grown over the years, I've created Moms Not Alone, a safe haven place for women specifically, but I felt like there was a need within moms because, I've, even with not being a mom, I've watched, what moms can go through the postpartum depression, through maybe feeling shamed, and specifically Christian mothers, that may have made some decisions, may have had children out of wedlock, had children and not be married, that whole thing, and how sometimes as other Christians that, perhaps were married when they had their children, or Christians that don't have children, they can, or the ones that actually had children out of wedlock and are older now, and feel like because they're saved, they can look down upon a Christian that may have not have been married first. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like there was a need there that, God loves you still, and God, children are a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So I knew there was a need in there, but it wasn't just to inspire those moms. It was also to inspire all moms, older moms, grandmoms, and just know that you are not alone. Every feeling that you feel, everything you're going through, stages, through newborn stages, through toddler stages, to teenagers, through having older children, we can all relate in some sort of a way. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that is something I've always wanted to do with my life, and especially within my career, poetry, and other things that I want to do in my life that are to come. I've always just wanted to inspire women because, you're not alone. That's just more of my motto for just life in general, is I've been through it. You're not alone. If I haven't been through it, I empathize with you. I sympathize with you. I can learn from you. And, just all women in general, we can all learn from each other. And that is something that I felt like I've done over the years of my life, is just trying to form podcasts, try to form groups, try to inspire women in my life, and it's women that's not in my life through my life. I wanted to just, be that example, and just to empower, uplift, and inspire women, because we need it,
Mm-hmm.
So what is something that you have done over the years to inspire, uplift, empower women?
I think just my day-to-day work, because that's how I try to live my life, empowering other women, educating myself again about what are other women going through, also taking into consideration why people are acting the way they're acting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if I can understand why you are the way you are, and I don't mean that in a bad way, like you act that way because you know, so then I can understand you and I can help uplift you. I think by doing education about certain topics
Mm-hmm.
can be empowering and uplifting. I am always repping people who are doing good. It ain't got to have anything to do with me. Before I was ever invited to be on your podcast, I was walking around Philly going, Miss White got this woman. I said, she is doing it. A woman I work with who works only part-time but has another gig on the side doing social media and stuff. I'm saying to people who don't even know her, oh, you need to check her out because she's doing wonderful. So repping and praising folks when they're doing stuff, or when they're just living their lives. I'm praising people. I don't have to have it. A friend of mine moved into this really big, gorgeous house, and I was saying to someone, "Oh, you need to see her house. It is so wonderful. She worked hard. She got this. She's decorated." And someone's like, "Oh, you jealous?" Like, no, I'm not jealous. That ain't my house. I ain't got to pay the bill. I am so happy for her.
Mm-hmm.
I am impressed by her because she worked hard. I knew her struggle that she went through to get here. So I'm like, hey, girlfriend is doing it. So I am always about praising people and repping them, even if, I don't even have to know you. If I can just see you doing something good, I'm like, you need to check her out because she's doing this. So just in that, praising people, trying to educate people about my topics of domestic violence and sexual assault, because and it may sound goofy, but by doing those educations, I've done presentations in churches and other programs where just the presentation in itself allowed someone to speak for the first time about what they've been through and what they survived. And then them realizing that they were in a room of people who supported them, where they thought if they had ever said anything, they were, like you said, they'd have been judged. They would have put down, where they're in a room full of folks who get them, who are supportive, like I'm here for you, who've been through similar situations. I've done presentations. When I think of where I did it at a church, and a woman decided to come forward and say that she was a survivor, and you could see on her face she was sort of like, I don't know if I need to be saying this, but I'm gonna say it because it's in my heart because you done said all this stuff. And other women in the room who, if you look at, and this goes back to my praising people, if you looked at them, you'd be like, oh, she thinks she all that and she got all that. Who said, oh yeah, when I met my first husband, he was horrible. Or the one woman talked about, like, she jumped out a bedroom window, third floor bedroom window with her baby because her boyfriend was chasing her. And everybody was like, which made other women realize you're not alone. You may be going through it now. This woman's already been through it. She understands. Don't look at her outward appearance and think she got everything. She don't understand. You don't know where people been. So uplifting by helping people realize that they're not alone women aren't alone in their struggle. That we are seriously not alone in the struggle, and that we can be there for each other, and we need to be there for each other.
Right. And one last question: what are you doing now, and what can you improve to empower, inspire, and uplift women?
I'm doing all the things that I've been talking about. What I can do to improve, I can be out there more. I can take a page out of your book and be more like you. and educating people by doing podcasts and figuring out ways to reach a broader audience, to give women a platform, a place to seek help, heal, be encouraged, to encourage. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm working on a women's empowerment conference for May 14th. So hopefully you'll let me back for
I'll
one.
put it in my book.
So I can rep that. So if COVID allows, we'll be at the Peter D'Elia Core Center,
Right.
Working on workshops, and that's for empower women across the generation. I want to continue working on things and ways to empower women. I also need to strengthen the doubt in me, because I don't want to come across like, oh, she got it together, she has it, she has no doubt. No, I have doubts and fears. And COVID has brought them forth. The things that I want to do to uplift women and uplift people, that because of COVID, like, oh, like I'm supposed to be doing a workshop once a month for women and empowering women. COVID is like, well, people don't want to come out. So then my doubt and my fear is like, well, then I can't do it. Okay, we just can't do it. We just won't do it. We'll go on hold until COVID's over. Well, COVID's never going to be over. And even if it is over, I need to buck up and go, okay, then I need to find another way around this. Right. So what I want to do is empower myself to help empower people, to work with that fear of rejection or failure that I may have, and go forward and go, okay, we're still going to do this. I might fall flat on my face. I may do a Instagram live and don't nobody show up, but at least I'm out there. I got to keep trying to come up with something. So being strong within myself to keep trying, keep moving forward, so that other people can see, go forward, keep trying, keep working for it.
Right. Well, one thing I can say, I think you would be a perfect podcaster. I think you should definitely look into that. Plus, I think you have a lot of ideas that's not in the podcast world, or even if you was to come on YouTube, especially your resume and everything that you're doing to empower, inspire, and uplift people in general. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to domestic violence, and that's the reason why I loved what you brought to campus, because that wasn't on campus. You know what I'm saying? And you had events and everything that you did. It was just like, I've learned a lot. I've learned stories that I didn't know before, and things I didn't know before. So I think you should definitely look into that. As far as empower and inspire and uplift women, I could say that you've definitely done that in my life. You've been there for me a lot. I've always come to your office. I came to your office on days you have meetings. I wait in your office on days you have meetings. But I always just came to your office because I knew that you would give me a sense of just a sense of normalcy and a sense of understanding. You've always given me great advice over the years, advice that I carry to this day. Just been my mentor by my side. Like I said, I don't know how I would have made it through college without you. You've been there for me, and just in my life, you know what I'm saying? Just, you've inspired me and uplift me.
Well, thank you.
So,
Same here.
Yeah, I definitely
you inspire me.
I gotta have the one woman that inspired me to talk today on this topic. And of course, you'll be on my show again. There are other things I do want you to kind of touch base on, but if you are ever doubting yourself, and which I know you're not, but if you ever are,
I do.
Okay. Well, if you are, just know that you inspired, uplift, empowered me to do a lot of things that I am doing currently in my life. So I thank you.
Well, thank you. Hey, well, thank you. And you empower me. And I just want to add also, and this is slightly off topic, but on topic, that we as women have to stand up. We have to support each other. We have to be there for each other. If nothing, I remember once we had a conversation about the Handmaid's Tale, that book and that television show, The Handmaid's Tale.
I love that show. Yes.
And I was saying to you how, like, we need to be careful because that could happen here. And I remember you saying, oh, no, I don't think that could happen here. And I always mull things over and process things. It may take me a while. And I've always thought about, but yeah, it is happening now. Because if you look in other countries, that there are women who are literally, on a Monday, they had rights to go to school. Then one government left, and now girls can't go to school. Girls can't be educated. Girls can't walk the streets by themselves without having a male with them. And it could be a 30-year-old woman, but she can't leave the house unless she brings her 6-year-old nephew with her. So, and that's happening as we breathe today, and as we sit here in the comfort that we have, and even if we don't think we got comfort, but in the comfort we have. So we as women have to always be mindful of that we need to hold on to our rights, our privileges, and we also have to hold on to and empower women who may not have those rights and privileges, that are losing those privileges, that are, or as I say, and I don't mean to be joking, who are living chapter 5 of A Handmaid's Tale.
Right.
As we speak, it's not fiction for them, it's reality for them. So protesting and marching, and even if that's not you, then it's you hanging up a poster in your office or in your window, or just doing something, because just as we have these rights and we need more rights, we need to be able to make sure that we continue to have them. I can't think of the phrase I want, because we've got them, but that we can use them.
Right.
That we can, if someone tries to take them from us, be it the police or whatever system, that we're able to go, no, you can't do that to me. So women have been the backbone of almost every, especially Black women, have been the backbone of every movement out there. The civil rights movement, the poverty movement, the working, the right to work movement, the movement for incarcerated men and freeing incarcerated men. Who's spearheading that? They're women. There are programs out there and movements out there that want women, that want Black women on board, because we're the power. And we need to realize we have the power. We need to harness that power, and not for our communities, for ourselves, and for the world as a whole, and for that woman who doesn't have a voice.
No, you're so right about that, Ms. Tommy. So if you could just drop some of the resources, like where people can go and find the resources, like maybe the websites, what number to call, if you could just drop that right there.
So, in Philadelphia, there are 6 crime victim agencies in the city. I'm with Central Division Victim Services. Forgive me for not having the phone number with me, but we're at 16th and Cecil B. Moore, and our address is 1532 Cecil B. Moore Avenue. You can't come to the office right now because of the new COVID variant, but you can Google Central Division Victim Services and find us, or just Google Victim Services in the city of Philadelphia. Those programs can help with any crime that you may have been through, help you get counseling, help you apply for compensation funds if you're eligible. Not everybody's eligible. And for domestic violence and sexual assault, it's the Philadelphia Domestic Violence Hotline. Forgive me for not having a number, but again, just go on your phone and put in Philadelphia Domestic Violence Hotline. The number will come up. Call them for any questions. If you're concerned about a behavior, if you're concerned that you're not safe, that you're fearful, you can call that number and talk to anybody. They're there 24 hours a day. They are a conduit to the shelter. Doesn't necessarily mean you can get in the shelter because the shelter's full, or they'll try to explore with you other ways for you to get safe. So calling them and saying, I need to get in the shelter, you may not get in. But don't get pissed. Get like, okay, so what can I do? Because they'll be working on what other things you can do to be safe.
Right.
Because the shelter may not be the safest place for you, may not be the answer. So calling them to get some ideas where you can get counseling. In Philadelphia, also, they're what they call themselves the DV4 plus war. So there are 4 domestic violence agencies in the city. There's Women Against Abuse, Lutheran Settlement House, Women in Transition, Congresso, and then there's WAR, Women Organized Against Rape. You can reach out to any of them for counseling services, free of charge counseling. So don't think, we have this view that counseling is for rich people. Counseling is people who have money. Counseling is for anybody who needs it.
Right.
And as Black folks, we are really quick to go like, oh, I don't need counseling. I don't need to be talking to somebody. Yes, you do. Everybody needs to talk to somebody.
Just like you can go to the doctor for your teeth, and you can go to the doctor for your body. You need someone to go to for your mind. So
yes, you go for because your mind affects all of that.
Yeah.
So you really got to work on it. So all those programs. So forgive me for not having those numbers, but again, it's just to Google Women Against Abuse, Lutheran Settlement House, Women in Transition, and Congresso, and Women Organized Against Rape. And for victim services, if you don't remember anything, just Google or look up Central Division Victim Services. We can help you get to any of those programs.
Okay. And so usually how we seal our show, we end it in a prayer. Would you like to close us out in a prayer, Miss Tommy?
Yes, I will close you out in a prayer.
Okay.
So, with a deep breath and all hearts and minds clear,
Yes.
God, Father in heaven, we thank you. We thank you for Miss White. We thank you for all the women out there. We thank you for the mothers. We thank you for understanding their struggle. Help them to realize that they are not alone, that we are with them and that you are with them, that you will help them through anything they need. Help them to carry that weight. Help us all to realize that we are your children and that we may be going through rough patches, but you have got us. You have got us covered in your cloak. We will make it through. From day 1 to day 2, you will help us, you will guide us, you will direct us. Help us to have faith. Help us to see that we can do this. When we feel like we can't go any further, that we can go further. That after the dark comes the light, and that we can hang on for the light, that we can do this, we can make this through, and that help us to know that we can be a support to each other, that we need to be there for each other, not to put each other down, not to be jealous of each other, but help us to see that we are the light that each other needs to our path to you in any way that we find our way to you. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being a part of our show today. Like I said, Ms. Dory will be a part of our show in future episodes because there are things that I want her to touch base on. But for the ones that aren't following our Instagram, please follow us at Moms Not Alone on Instagram. We also have a Moms Not Alone podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor FM, etc. And we're also on YouTube at Moms Not Alone as well. And this video is going to be on YouTube, and prayerfully I can get it on the audio version actually on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everything. And this is our first Instagram live bringing to our actual Instagram page. So again, thank you, Miss Tommy, for being a part of today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye.